I wanted to come on and talk about a lot of this idea of very much like romanticizing the twin flame or mirror soul journey. So this is something that I've been seeing a lot. I've gotten a lot of comments about stuff, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like, sorry to like kind of burst the bubble. One of the reasons that people get really fixated on this idea of like twin flames and attach to this idea is because they're looking for this answer. Like they're looking for someone to finally understand them. They're looking for someone who they feel gets them. And it's like this thought or idea of, when I meet this person, when we come into union, everything's going to make sense and it's all going to be fixed. And unfortunately, that is not the twin flame or mirror soul journey at all. It's very romanticized. And so a lot of times people are actually looking for a soulmate, not a twin or a mirror soul. I've talked a little bit about how we can tell the difference. A lot of times, if you are a twin or a mirror soul, I'm honestly not quite sure on the twins because I'm not a twin. I came in with the mirror soul initiative, and I know from my personal experience with that, ever since I was a child, ever since I could remember anything, I had memories that, or this knowing that I was looking for someone, that I was meant to meet somebody very specific, and we were supposed to be together. We had stuff to do together, and like that was in me forever, for as long as I can remember. And so this is part of that new mirror soul initiative, with that feeling, that knowing, ever since we're a child, before we even have the idea of romance, before we even have the idea of dating. It's already in us, this feeling of, I'm looking for this person. There's someone I'm supposed to find and meet. So this is how we really have this confirmation within us, like, yeah, like this is real, this is true, this is my journey, this is part of what I'm doing. Versus when people get in like older and they're very romantic, and they have these ideas of perfect romance and perfect things that they're looking for, and they hear the idea of like a twin flame. They're like, oh, this sounds, yes, it sounds so romantic and so perfect, and this stuff. And so well, and it's not to say that can't kind of be both, right? So there could be a mirror soul that comes in feeling this, and then they learn later about the twin flame, and then they go into that like romanticized energy and idea, right? So what will happen is, when people who have gone into that space with this journey, not seeing it for what it is, for the growth, expansion, healing, raising the vibration of the collective, all of that stuff, without seeing that deep purpose, they're focusing more on kind of, what do I get out of it? Like, what is this going to do for me? How is this going to satisfy me? And that's not what the mirror soul twin flame journey is. It's service to the collective. Now, on the other side of that, is there this massive heart-opening expansiveness that is blissful and joyful, that is that union? Yes, but the reason for it comes from the healing, from the releasing of the self-judgment, from doing the work and being able to be in a space where our heart is capable of that type of love. Our heart is capable of that type of expansion. When we are trapped in self-judgment, self-loathing, shame, constant needing of validation from other people, combativeness, feeling defensive, when we're in this energy, our heart is not able to be that expansive. It is too closed down. It is shut down. So we're not able to get there. This is what the mirror soul and twin flame journey is about. It's about finding that person. It's about getting those triggers. It's about going into that separation, allowing for both people to be in that, not chasing, not trying to force the other person, not trying to judge their experience, but trusting and allowing that openness is actually creating more expansiveness between the two, within the heart space of both. That's kind of what the separation needs. It's like the more that's pulled apart, the more open and expansive the heart can be, without this focus on what is this person going to do for me. Because this is a lot of that energy when we get fixated on the twin flame mirror soul journey. We get that fixation of, when this person comes in, it's going to be perfect. And then the triggers start coming up when they're not able to fulfill that fantasy, right? They can't fulfill that fantasy. We realize that they're also just human, that they have their own issues, that they have their own woundings, that they have their own stuff. And it's upsetting, right? Because we thought, oh, when I find this person, it's going to be perfect. And it's not. It's not. It's hard. And it makes us have to look at parts of ourselves that we have rejected, that we have not liked, that we have been ashamed of, that we have not been able to even access. A lot of us have suppressed a lot of hurts because we have had this more open, romanticized feeling. We put ourselves in relationships that got us hurt. We've given too much. We've given more than we really should have. But we did it because we knew this feeling of the capacity. So we started trying to offer that because we didn't quite understand what it meant and what it was for. So when we tried to offer that, it was to people that it wasn't for. And so it came back to us as hurt, rejection, cruelness, heartbreak, heartache, betrayal, all kinds of these woundings. And so by the time we go to find our partner, all of that's still in the body. And so it gets triggered, it gets mirrored back to us, right? And it's difficult because there's pains, there's hurts, there's triggers, there's things that we've experienced in this lifetime that mirror is going to mirror back to us that we don't want to have to deal with. We don't want to have to deal with the abuse that we suffered. Me personally, domestic violence, severe domestic violence, having to deal with fear of that and process that and clear out the residual of that. Rejection, any type of using, betrayal, all of that kind of stuff, we have to still face that. That's going to come up for processing, for healing, for dealing with and moving through. And so it's hard because with the mirror is going to mirror it back exactly to the most fine-tuned method that it can. It's going to be right here. You can't look away. You can't ignore it. This is it. Versus when we've been with other partners, it's maybe it'll hint at it. There'll be a little whisper of it. And we're I can put that back to bed. I'll put that back to bed. But with the mirror, there's no running. We can't run from it. It is right in front of our face. And this is what causes that need for separation. Because what happens a lot of times with the old program, with the twin flame program, the people would try to stay together during that time. They didn't want to have to go into that separation. And what would end up happening is it would become a highly toxic relationship because they were not evolved enough to be able to move through that. And therefore there became this stalling out because there wasn't an opportunity to become aware of the triggers, witness them, and move through them, do the work to heal it, do the work that was necessary, so that when the reunification happened, that mirroring started coming back more in a sense of, I'm very aware of what's still residually in my body. My mirror is very aware of what's still residual in their body. And now we're able to come from a more healed space where we have released self-judgment, where we have been able to accept these things to a degree, so that when we start mirroring back, it's in a loving and supportive, expansive way, where it's coming up and the other partner is able to say, hey baby, you know that thing that you're working on, I saw it today. I saw it when you were having this interaction. It happened, it's happening right now. Here in the middle of a conversation, a pause. Hey baby, it's happening right now. Oof. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Thank you for helping me to see that it's still there. And thank you for holding space for me in this moment. Thank you. This is the evolved space that the mirrors will be able to come into, that the twins can come into. But unfortunately, the twins, it's like there's this attachment that's still there. There's more of a lack of faith in the bond and the connection. So there's still an effort, especially by one, trying to hold on. I had said before in I think a short that I did, like runner chaser is not part of the initiative for the Mirror Soul initiative. It's not part of it, because both having come in knowing that they have this connection and being very conscious when they meet that other person, they're going to know. It's like we already know that there's a separation that's needed. We're gonna try probably, oh no, we don't need that, we can do better. But then it's gonna become apparent, and one or both will start being like, I see this is happening. One might say it and then it's like, let's try. Then the other might see it and then let's try, until it comes to a point where it's like, no, we're seeing this clearly, that we need this time. I'm now very aware of my stuff. You're now very aware of your stuff. And we're going to take that time, because otherwise, when still in that mirror energy, there's too much focus on the trigger and not enough opportunity to heal it. It's like constantly being in threat mode versus being able to heal. So it's like you have a wound, and being in union when you're not ready, it's like you're just constantly picking the scab off of it over and over and over. It's never going to be able to heal. It will never be able to heal when you're in that environment like that. This is why it's like, let me go into a space where I can heal. Let me go into this rehabilitation time, now that I'm aware of the wound, now that I see it, and I'll be able to sit with it and work on it and give it what it needs so that it can heal, so that when I come back, there's nothing to pick on, versus it's healed enough that now my partner can help me convalesce it, where they can help me know, oh, I know that you have this wound here. I'm so glad it's healed, but it's still sore. There's still some bruising. There's still some scar tissue that's tender. And I'm now aware of it. And I want to help you to continue to heal it in that next level, to that next degree, because I now no longer have judgment for it, because I've released my own self-judgment. This is a very beautiful, beautiful, expansive journey and opportunity. And the fighting against that opportunity for that expansion and growth and healing by trying to hold on, that's a lot of the false ego energy, a lot of that. And this is why people say separation is illusion. And I would agree with that, honestly, because when there's a true understanding, a true acceptance of who each other is, a true awareness of that, and then knowing, like, wow, this person's triggering me too much. Yep, me too. That there's still so much love there, even though the two are not in communication at the time, that there's nothing has really changed between them. There's still the love, there's still this connection, there's still this everything. It's just, we're just not talking at the moment because we have something else that we're needing to do at this time. So being able to be in that space is honestly, it's very healing. It's a very beautiful opportunity when we can lean into it, because it will build a deeper security in the future, a deeper ability to connect, to be able to be that support for each other that will support the process of going deeper into the healing, going deeper into that work after we've done enough to where we're able to do it. Because if we're in that space where everything, we're just immediately defensive, immediately like insecure, immediately like struggling, ugh, this vulnerability feels awful, no, this person seeming weak right now, I don't have tolerance for that, you know, like there's so much, because that feels like I don't like the weakness in myself, so when I witness it in them, it's super triggering. Like all of that kind of stuff, like all of that has to be cleared out. And that is all release of self-judgment. That's where it all comes down to. When we can finally get to a space where we can accept that we are extensions of the divine, having a physical experience specifically for expansion. When we can just understand that and release any judgment of it, we can go into bearing witness to it. We can have compassion. We can look at it and say, wow, okay, like not my ideal, but that's just what happened. That's how that played out. That's how I responded. And I have to forgive myself. I have to accept that that's what happened. I have to accept my body. I have to accept how my physical form expresses itself. Because my physical form isn't even me. It's just my suit that's allowing me to have this amazing, expansive experience. So it's coming into this space that allows us to be able to move into that next level of expansiveness with the partner. So for those that watch this and are in separation, physical separation right now in the 3D with their partner, with their twin or their mirror soul, I really want to encourage you to lean in to do that work. Do it, because the more you do it and the faster you do it, and just lean into it and stop fighting it. Just stop fighting it. Stop trying to pretend it doesn't exist. Just face it. Just lean in. The sooner you're going to be able to be in union. And if this is something that you struggle with and you're like, I don't even know how to do this work, I don't even know how to identify it, I don't even know what to do, then reach out to me. I'm currently taking one-to-one clients. I have openings for my untangled process. And of course, I always have the Witch's Wound and soon the Warrior's Wound courses available, so that you can start being very intentional about the type of healing and making sure that you're clearing out the right stuff that is needed to heal, so that you can have that union. Okay, you're going to find the link to get in touch with me somewhere, wherever this is posted, and I will look forward to it. The world needs us in union, all of us. So the more we can do it, the faster we can do it, it's better for all of us. Okay, thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.